So, that is what it is. I love it. I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all. You understand me? Shout out to everybody that's working on themselves, working on their shadow self, the person that only you see when nobody else is there. I'm always working on that self. In many layers, I'm a contradiction, working on myself to be better, putting out an example for myself to follow. You understand me? And so that's what we're working on. And so I want you all to understand it ain't about the fact whether you perfect or not. You may have flaws. I definitely have flaws, but it's the fact that we're working on ourselves. So even if I see a person that's a contradiction, you understand me? It may just mean that they're striving to get to that place that they want to be. They're striving to get to that level that they want to be. So they're putting out an example for themselves to follow until they actually vibrate at the condition of their example. And I'm one of those people. Like I'm putting out what I want to be my example more and more every day. You understand me? I've been able to get rid of a lot of things in my character that I feel like maybe was toxic or maybe was flawed, right? And so there's a few things that I feel like I still have to develop in order for where I feel like I can be proud of myself for how I've transformed myself and how I've grown. And I'm just not the type of person that is going to just accept my toxicity. You understand me? I have to be actively changing it. Because at the end of my growth, my legacy also has to be a self-legacy. And a lot of people don't think about what their self-legacy is. So you have the legacy that you give to the world, and then you have the legacy that you give to yourself. And your self-legacy is the legacy that you only know. It's your shadow legacy. It's the legacy that's based upon the condition of how you felt you lived while you was here. The amount of things you improved, how better you became, the good deeds that you did, the things that you worked on. And in that dying breath, you can say, man, I died a better person. And there's going to be so many things that only you know, but that's your shadow legacy. So then we have the legacy in the world where that's our light legacy, where everybody else see. That affects everybody else. But by working on your shadow legacy, it affects and it charges up your light legacy. Because there's people today that we think are great because of the example that they set in their light legacy, but they may have died knowing that I never got to the point that I actually became as great as the example that I represented. So we all have these two selves that we're fighting. You understand me? We all have these different type of things. And once we understand these concepts and we can download them and we can live by these principles and apply them, now we have thinking methodology that we can utilize within our lives. So work on that shadow legacy where only you know to be proud of you for what you've done in the development of yourself. Then you have the legacy where the rest of the world is proud of you for what you've done and your ability to impact everybody else. Yes. I'd rather go my last dying breath knowing I was working on myself and knowing how far I got in that achievement. And then it's going to be to a certain point where you get so far, that you're just proud of yourself everywhere you go. You're just happy about who you are, who you've become, because you take a list of all of your toxic traits, your contradictions, and you say, damn, I finally got it to a point where I'm completely aligned with my light self and my shadow self. You feel me? So, and I'm telling you all this because I haven't got there yet, but this is what I'm working on. You feel me? So it's like, I don't mind being the leader that's imperfect, but I'll never be the leader that's not working. You feel me? So as much as I do for the world is only because I'm doing that same for myself. You did? And I think that when we normalize imperfect leadership, then we humanize the people that we set as our examples to understand that they're working on themselves in the same way I need to work on myself. Now that is a better world. And more people will not mind being leaders when they don't have to be perfect, but they can be striving, they can be working, they can be developing. And we can accept them the same way we accept ourselves with all our imperfection and flaws. And we accept them knowing that they're working on themselves, but they're striving to be the best example while working on themselves. They're trying to give us their greatest version before they even get there. That's honorable, actually. But we've looked at it in the wrong capacity because we've never given people room to grow. We give people room to fail. So people try to tell you, no, Keys is perfect. No, I ain't nowhere near that. Where I'm like right here, and where I want to be is like right here. And this much growth is a lot of growth. So you got to imagine how much I need to do to get to here. So people make themselves feel good by comparing themselves to somebody that's down here. Oh, well, bruh down here, so I must be good. But your true self, your higher self is all the way up here, though. You ain't nowhere near your true self, your highest self. So how you bragging about being that far from your level of greatness? Because you comparing somebody else in their race. Yeah, well, that person handicapped and ain't running their race, so they was going to always be slower. You got two perfectly working legs, and you still not running a race as fast as you possibly can. But you happy beating people that's handicapped. I don't do that. I ain't perfect, but I got a lot of goddamn things that I don't do, that I have mastered to where I won't allow myself to fall into those low traps. So ladies, when you think about fellas, we don't even know how to properly grade value. It has to be about what is the level he's on in the first place. Because a high value man can still be at a low level. High value men have low level conversations. They do low level impact. They can have low level love. You feel me? Low level honor. All these things, but they high value based on these metrics. So once you truly learn the value system, it changes the game for you. Same thing with you, fellas. She may be bad. She may be beautiful. But what level is she on? Because her beauty level might be up here. Right? Her thinking level is here. Look at the brother Michael B. Jordan with Lori Harvey. She said she wasn't ready for commitment at the age of 25. Now, she was truthful with the brother. But society plagues us with this, I want to continue to have fun, as if partnering with somebody is not fun to build. Like they like what we consider to be slavery is truly, or freedom is truly slavery. And what we consider to be oppression is truly freedom. Because discipline is the truest level of freedom, not wilderness. So a person says, I want to act into my wild self, because they think that that's their true self. So they don't think actually having control over their avatar, soul, and spirit is powerful. So they act in different conditions. But when it comes to business, I can't just be wild in business. Why? Because you're not going to be as successful. So when it comes to being a human being, why do you think that being your wildest self is your most successful version? But in no other category in life, there's success when you do that and implement that same principle of thought. Think about that for a second. So, but I empathize. Fellas, you deal with that in this generation, because they reversed the spell on our black women. And the spell reversal was, instead of being at home, you need to be as far away from home as possible. That was you need to be of the world. Remember, my parents always said, don't be in the world, but not of the world. So that wherever she goes, she's supposed to take home with her. She's home. But now the game that's changed is, she is never at home. She will never be a stay-at-home. She will never help develop a home. So we're living in the age of backwards. So me and Red Pill, we actually did a dope high-level conversation about this very concept. And once you understand that, then you get it. And we have to reverse that, because all of the concepts that allowed us to be successful ancestors, they have now taught us against that. And we believe our ideas of freedom are embedded in our rebellion against ourselves. Man, that one, I don't care who view it. That's so powerful. I'm just happy to release it. Same thing with us, fellas. So it's like we have a lot of issues with our own masculinity and our identity because we don't understand ourselves. And by not understanding your masculinity is one of the worst things you can have as a man. And the attack on masculinity is the worst movement ever created in the history of mankind. Because it's the one thing that actually allows us to develop a better world as well. But when you don't understand your masculinity and it's being attacked so much, you go for suppression. You suppress your desires, you suppress your attractions, you suppress your expression, you suppress all of these different things that are natural to yourself. And that suppression doesn't make it go away. It damages you. Right? And without that understanding of the world, it's like a man being attracted to a woman is not perverted. A man being attracted to a woman, multiple women is not perverted, but you have to context it though. My masculine energy is attracted to feminine energy no matter where it is. But when the world doesn't give you an outlet to express that attraction and they pervert it, it suppresses it. And anytime you suppress stuff, you force people to go into the dark shadows. You force people to change their conditions and do things in an unnatural way. So like being able to redevelop society and get people to understand their true selves and their natural selves and the things that are all right with them. You understand me? It's a different game. They got people believing that it's not even okay to be heterosexual. Must be something wrong with you for not accepting the idea of fluidity. No. How about I just believe in what I believe? That's what I stand on. This is what's connected to me as source. So you can't bring in one idea and then demonize people for standing on top of the ideas that they currently believe in because you're not allowing everybody to be free on what they consider to be true. Talk to me. And I know everybody don't have the ability to express themselves in these concepts, and this is why I'm here to speak for the culture. I'm here to be an impactor, a generator, an architect, a general. And so, yes, the women operating in their masculine is because men have become so feminine, right, that they're chasing you away. And for men, it's like you have to be driven by purpose. She has to be driven by love. When you're driven by purpose, she will help charge you up with love. But when you're driven by love and she's driven by purpose, she's running away and you're chasing her. When you're driven by purpose, you're going to your goal of greatness, your vision, and she's coming along with you and charging you up along the way to keep you balanced so you continue to grow. She becomes your generator on the side of you. So you have to change your concepts of how you go through things, and you never be in a relationship chasing a woman ever. I'm just say that to y'all. Ever, 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 ever. At all times, you have to always be driven by purpose. Always be driven by purpose. Always be driven. I'm just going to let you know that. It's not that you don't stop. It's not that you always in logic. No, you feel her through love. You communicate to her with love, but you are driven by purpose. The woman is going to be free-flowing, right? She wants to be free. But your job is to create an atmosphere that allows her to be free-flowing, to feel protected enough, to be free, to be flowing. Well, you operate through vision. Let her operate through that free flow. But you have to operate through vision because vision is going to give you direction. And as long as you have that vision and that direction, she can operate freely within that. And you will be guiding to that destination. But we ain't taught none of this shit. How you got a whole movement about toxic masculinity without guiding masculinity? So the greatest villains on the planet Earth were all these people that pushed that bullshit on our people. That was worse than pushing drugs on us because it was a system embedded for in-programmed self-hate. You feel me? So I just wanted to impart you all with some of that information and some of that knowledge because I know that we don't understand our value. We don't understand our true self. But once we do, it's game over. And that's That's the principles of BWO will be guided by a lot of that when I do my mental factory and my brain series and, optimizing self. Yeah, we go talk a lot of technology, but there's going to be a lot where we're going to be giving you these tools for development. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. You understand me? Make sure y'all text BWO so you can be a part of the first people that lock in with us. Anytime I do something, I'm always going to over-deliver. Appreciate y'all. I really appreciate y'all locking in with me. But we have to change everything that they taught us to become everything we're supposed to be. We have to reteach ourselves. All right? Y'all do me a favor, man. Go meditate. Go relax. You understand me? Take some time in isolation and go chill. And just think and just ponder a little bit. We all need to do that. My fellas, you have to understand how important it is for you to get in isolation and to think. To cut off the Netflix, cut off the computer, cut off the phone, cut off all of your comforts, and just get into that space where you're just doing some work on yourself. For no other reason, just to sit there and do work. And it's mental work, it's shadow work. Because all trophies don't come physical. Some of the trophies we have is just based on the work that we do within ourselves. And nobody's going to give you a trophy for becoming a better person. That trophy has to come from within. So isolation is important for elevation. Remember that. Peace family on 19 Keys. It's been a BWO talk, man. Yes, it's free for now, but only for a while, man. Make sure y'all tap into the BWO. Text that number down there. If you want to get my master pack and start your development early, where I put a bundle of everything together that I've taught over the years, and all the people that have collaborated with me, click the link in the bio. Instead of, and it's like $15,000 in value, I got it marked off at like 90+% off. You understand me? At $200, that's going to be in the bio for another 3 days or until the packs run out. And then after that, it's over. But go through that process. Learn. Education is the key right now. You feel me? Love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Continue to tap in.